Okay, good afternoon. Good afternoon to all. Am I audible? Okay. So actually, we have started the FEA in the earlier classes, but due to poor strength, so let me start the FEA introduction part again. Actually, okay. So before getting into the subject, we need to know why. What is the necessity of studying finite element analysis? Okay. So first of all, we should presume ourselves, we should assume ourselves. So, what are the things we know? What are the prerequisites to know about this subject? So, those and all we should know before getting into any subjects. Okay. அதாவது என்ன சொல்கிறேன் அப்படின்னா எஃப்ஏ நீங்கள் படிக்கணும் அப்படின்னா வாட் ஆர் தி சப்ஜெக்ட்ஸ் யூ மிட் ஹவ் நோன் ஸோ த ப்ரீ ரெக்வசிட்ஸ் ரிக்வயர்ட் ஃபார் learning FEA thoroughly. Okay. Do you know about finite element analysis? You heard this term before. We heard about the term finite element analysis. I think only 5 or 6 members have attended the earlier sessions. They might have known about the concept of finite element analysis, the impact of finite element analysis, the scope of finite element analysis. It's actually enormous. There is enormous scope is available in finite element analysis. So if you want to shape your career in design, okay, so FEA knowledge is must. So preferably the company who is hiring in design department, they are very particular about this subject FEA, right? So last time your senior has been deputed in, I mean, has been employed as a design engineer. He has been shortlisted by means of raising questions on finite element analysis, right? Very few design based companies are there. Even the tycoons, the topmost software companies, take TCS, HCL, or ANSYS, I mean, Infosys. So they are hiring people for design engineers, right? Exclusively in the area of analysis, right? So that much scope is available in finite element analysis. Okay. So if you want to have a thorough knowledge in finite element analysis, what we should do, right? So we should be familiar with all mechanical domain, right? So what are the subjects so far you have learned? You must be at least sound in fundamentals, right? So all fundamental knowledge of uh, mechanical domain. So we can classify the mechanical domain into three different parts. One is actually solid mechanics, and another one is called heat transfer, right? And another is called manufacturing, right? So these are the three major classifications in which finite element analysis is concerned. So there are three major domains there. One is called structural, another is called heat transfer, and another one is called flow. So these are three major domains which is available in finite element analysis. Right. Okay. It is very difficult to be an expert in all the domain. Right. So if you want to be a expert in structural parts, right, it will take years. Right. If you want to be a sound in one particular domain, particularly the structural domain, it will take years together in order to gain knowledge in that particular domain. Okay. So at least please concentrate in any one particular domain which you are in interest. Okay, you take either structural, heat transfer, and fluid part. If you are familiar with heat transfer concepts, if you are familiar with heat and mass transfer and thermal engineering, you may prefer the thermal domain of FEA. If you are sound in strength of materials, engineering mechanics, dynamics of machines, theory of machines, and all, right? Okay. If you are sound in this particular subjects, you can choose structural as a domain, right? So if you are familiar with fluid mechanics, you can choose flow as a choice for a domain. Okay, so these are the three domains which are available in the market, right? You can be familiar with any one of the domains, either structural, uh, flow, or else in heat transfer. Okay, so what sort of opportunities will be available in FEA அப்படின்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா nowadays actually if you know FEA you can earn at least at a minimum salary of 3 lakhs per annum you can earn, right? With a minimum package of 3 lakhs, 3 or 3.5 lakhs per annum, you can earn as a fresher, right? So that much scope is available. In particular, you should know either one modeling software along with any analysis software. Either it can be Ansys, preferably Ansys. So Ansys is preferred. So plenty of other softwares are there. Ansys is there, Abacus is there, COMSOL is there, Multiphysics is there. So plenty of uh, paid software are there in market. Apart from that, few uh, I mean, open source softwares are also there that are not that much effective when compared with Ansys and all, right? So actually, Ansys, those analysis software is actually a software-based finite element analysis. It is a software version of finite element analysis. That's it, right? If you are thorough in theoretical concepts in FEA, you can create your own software like Ansys, right? So that is what the concept. If you are familiar with FEA thoroughly in the theoretical aspects, you can create your own software, analysis software. So that is what the concept. But people are upgrading in Ansys. Actually, it is the emerging software. Plenty of companies are using this kind of software. Apart from that, space indices like NASA, right, and ISRO. So they are using plenty of open source softwares like OpenFOAM, right? OpenFOAM is one of the CFD software. CFD is nothing but the flow version. I mean, it is a flow version of finite element analysis, right? Computational fluid dynamics is the term. So CFD means what? Computational fluid dynamics. Right. So that much scope is available in FEA. If you are thorough in FEA, you will be placed in any one of the companies with a good package, right? Which is equivalent to software programmer. So that is what the scope in FEA, right? And so this is what the first unit syllabus, what we are going to discuss. So right from historical background, how the FEA emerges, right? Evolution of, otherwise we can say evolution of finite element analysis. And the next one, what we are going to see is it's actually mathematical modeling of field problems in engineering. Right, there are plenty of field problems are there. Like as I said, in solid mechanics, vibration problems are there, heat transfer problems are there, right? Torsional problems are there. So we can term it as a field problems, right? And the field problems were a mathematical modeling. So mathematical modeling is the base for finite element analysis. So mathematical modeling is the base for finite element analysis. I will uh, I will tell you about what are the prerequisites for FEA later after discussing the syllabus. Okay. So next one, it is actually mathematical modeling of field problems in engineering and forming of governing equations for those field problems. Either it can be a structural problems or beam or bar problems, or it can be a heat transfer problems, or it can be torsional problems, or it can be a vibration problem. For anything, we need to form a governing equation. So governing equation is a mathematical base from which we are going to derive the solution for it, right? And next one is called discrete and continuous models of those equations, right? So all the field problems are getting solutions out of the governing equation. There are different methods are there to solve the problems, right? I will tell you elaborately what is what. And next, we are going to discuss about the different kinds of problems, such as boundary variable problems, initial variable problems, and eigenvalue problems. Right? There are three. If you categorize the engineering problem, it belongs to three different categories. Either it can be a boundary value problem, or it can be initial value problem, or it can be an eigenvalue problem. Right? And in variational methods, we are going to solve those differential equations, right? So in the previous, in earlier semesters, you might have studied about mathematics, right? M2 M3, M3, M4 right? So you might have studied about differential equation, how to solve these differential equations. Wait one second. Okay. டிஃபரன்ஷியல் ஈக்குவேஷன்லாம் பற்றி படிச்சிருப்பீங்க. டிஃபரன்ஷியல் ஈக்குவேஷன் எப்படி சால்வ் பண்ணுறது அப்படின்ட்டு. அப்புறம் இன்டெகிரேஷன்லாம் இட் இஸ் வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். ஸோ நெக்ஸ்ட் வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா weighted residual method we are going to see. We are going to see about variational formulation of boundary value problems, how to form the differential equation from for boundary value problem, and how to find a solution for those problems and all. Right. There are two different techniques we are going to see in this unit. One is called weighted residual method, and another is called Ritz method. Right. These are the two methods we are going to adapt for solving differential equations. So, the differential equation, it's a problem. Right. It's a problem for any kind. It can be a solid mechanics problem, finding out the stress, right? Stress in each part. Otherwise, we can say finding out the strength of the any component. Either can be a bar or beam or a truss, or it can be any structures or a frame, right? Or a plate, okay, whatever may be, right? Or problems maybe include finding out the temperature distribution of any two-dimensional plates or a shell in a boiler shell, and finding out the heat flux which is evolved from this uh, boilers, right? And what is the temperature distribution inside an IC engines? So plenty of problems are there, right? So you can solve any kind of problems, n number of problems using answers or using finite element analysis. It is actually there is no boundary for this finite element analysis. So any kind of techniques, any kind of applications, you can use this finite element analysis. Okay, so in which we are going to adopt two different methods. These are actually in the first unit. In the first unit, what we are going to discuss is not actually a finite element analysis. It is a base for finite element analysis. Actually, it's a base for finite element analysis. From the second unit onwards, we are going to deal about the FEA concepts. But here, what we are going to discuss is the fundamental concepts of finite element analysis. But this is not actually a finite element analysis concept. Okay. So next, what we are going to discuss is basic concepts of FEM, finite element method. What are the steps involved in FEM? We're going to see. Okay. So these are the different topics we're going to see in the finite element analysis in the first unit, right? So simply we can say how to form a governing equation for a particular problem, and how to solve those governing equations using weighted residual method and Ritz method. So this is all about the first unit. ஃபர்ஸ்ட் யூனிட்டை பொறுத்தளவுக்கு என்ன பண்ண போகிறோம் அப்படின்னா, ஒரு கவர்னிங் ஈக்குவேஷன் ஒரு ப்ராப்ளம் கொடுத்துட்டாங்கன்னா அந்த ப்ராப்ளம்க்கு ஏற்ற மாதிரி எப்படி கவர்னிங் ஈக்குவேஷன் வந்து ஜென்ரேட் பண்ணுறது, அந்த கவர்னிங் ஈக்குவேஷனை எப்படி சால்வ் பண்ணுறது, ரைட்? ரெண்டு மெத்தட் மூலமாக சால்வ் பண்ண போகிறோம். ஒன்று வெயிட்டட் ரெசிடுவல் மெத்தட் அண்ட் ரிட்ஸ் மெத்தட். ஸோ these are the two methods we are going to use for solving governing equations. Okay. So first of all, so let me introduce the concept of finite element analysis before getting into the subject historical development. Okay. Before getting into the syllabus of unit 1, so we must be familiar with the concept of finite element analysis. What is all about finite element analysis, right? Where it can be applied, what is the scope of finite element analysis? Okay, so that we should know. So first of all, let me introduce some of the known shapes. Okay, so here the problem is, as I said, problems are plenty. Any problem could be anything, right? The problem, I will list out some problems, few problems later. So here I will introduce the problem. The problem is to find the area. So area, I mean finding of the problem of a given area. Okay. So I have listed down various shapes, isn't it? Are you able to see the shapes? Okay, so I have listed down various shapes. The problem is to find the area of the different shapes. Okay. In the first one, I have mentioned what is that? What is the shape? What is the shape of the first object? Yeah, square. Next one is circle. Next one is parallelogram. Next one is trapezium. Next one is trapezium, and the last one is. Can you able to define that object? Yeah. So this is what the concept I am going to discuss. Okay, so except that given red shape, right? You could be able to identify, you could be able to spot out what is the shape is. Am I correct? Except this one, you are able to spot out what are the shape is. Okay, so that is what we are going to see. Can you able to find the area of a square? If given if a given side is A, what is the area of square? A square. What is a, if R be the radius of the circle, what is the area of the circle? Pi r square. If B is the base and H is the height of the triangle, what is the area of the triangle? So formula is there for parallelogram, isn't it? Right, you will be having two rectangles and two triangles from which you can derive the formula. Am I right? Similarly, area of the trapezium, two triangle is there, one rectangle is there, from which you can derive the formula for trapezium. Am I right? Yes. Can you able to find the area of this red portion? Do you have any formula for finding out the area of this highlighted red portion area? Yeah, there won't be any formula for this portion. Okay, there is no defined formula for finding out the area of this. Otherwise we can say it is a complex shape. Otherwise we can say technically it is an intricate shape. It's an intricate or complex shapes. There is no specific formula for calculating the complex shape, area of the complex shape. Okay, so this is what the problem. You are supposed to find the area of the complex shape. How you will find the area of the complex shape? Do you have any idea how you will find the area of this unknown complex shapes? No idea. How you are going to find the area of this complex shape? Mm. Yeah, yeah. So what we can do is we can split those unknown shape. இல்லையா, இது unknown shape தானே இது. இந்த unknown shape என்ன பண்ணலாம் அப்படின்னா, we can split into a different known shape. Say for example, if it has you know the area of a rectangle, right? You know the area of the rectangle. With the same shape of the rectangle, you can divide this domain into entire shape. Okay, so by counting how many rectangles are there, right, you can find approximately what could be the area of this complex shape. Am I right? You can divide this entire domain. We could say the problem is a domain. In FEA, finite element analysis, the problem which is focusing is called domain. Otherwise, a focus of the problem is otherwise called domain. Right? Here, this complex shape is called domain. Okay? The complex shape என்னன்னு சொல்லலாம் அப்படின்னா domain அப்படின்னு சொல்லலாம். Right? What we can do is we can split this domain into a small objects, right? Where the small objects area is already known. Okay, now you count how many rectangles are there in this domain. So this particular is called element, right? This small portion is called element. Otherwise we could say it is a subdomain, right? So this entire domain is being split into subdomains, right, where the subdomains area is already known. If by counting how many rectangles are there in the domain, we will be approximately able to find the area of this unknown shape. Am I right? Okay. Now tell me whether my answer is accurate one. Whether you will get an accurate answer, whether you will get a exact area of the shape, complex shape. Yeah, you will get only an approximate area. Why? Because so many areas which is not been covered by the rectangles. Okay, the red portion, you could see the red portion which is not covered by the rectangle. So those are all called errors. Those are all called errors, right? So since it is an approximate solution, we can't able to get exact answers. Okay, then how to reduce the error, right? How will you reduce the error? So if you want an exact answer, or if you want to have an exact area for this complex shape, what you have to do? You need to reduce the size of the element. That's it. You need to reduce the size of the element. But what is the practical difficulty while you reduce the element number of elements? What is the practical difficulty? If you reduce the number of elements, you will get more number of elements. Am I right? When compared with the second one, the first one you could see more number of elements, right? But error is getting reduced. Error is getting reduced, but there are more number of elements. What is the practical difficulty? என்ன பிரச்சனை இருக்கு இதுல? What is the practical difficulty? So here in the second one, the number of element is very few. So you can easily count. The time required for counting the number of element is very less, right? Then a fraction of second you could be able to count how many rectangles are there. The second one, right? But you'll be having more error. If error is getting reduced, what we have to do? We have to increase the number of elements. So number of element is very high. So it is very difficult to count this number of elements. So that is what happening in systems and all, right? So if you want to reduce the error, what will happen? You have to increase the number of elements. If you increase the number of element, the processing time required for the software is more, right? Even days, even month, right? Even it will take 1 or 2 months to mesh. So meshing is um, one of the task of analysis, right? So mere by meshing itself, it require around 2 or 3 months for any complex projects. Okay, so this is what happening. If you increase the number of elements, what will happen? Mere it will be very difficult to count the number of elements which is present inside the complex domain, right? Okay, if you want to reduce the size, if you want to reduce the error, what you have to do? You have to ultimately increase the number of elements, or you need to reduce the size of the element. Okay, so with this you might have known what is mean by domain, what is mean by subdomain, what is mean by element, right? தெரிஞ்சிச்சா? சப் டொமைன்னா என்ன, எலமெண்ட்னா என்ன, சப்டொமைன்னா என்ன அப்படின்னு தெரிஞ்சிருக்கும் உங்களுக்கு. Am I right? Okay, next, why we should go for FEA? Why can't we solve those problems in a conventional manner? Why we need this particular subject, this particular domain? Finite element analysis exists for what purpose? Finite element analysis is existing for what purpose? Why? Because there is a complexity in plenty of aspects. So there is a complexity in materials, there is complexity in loading condition, there is complexity in shape, and complexity in boundary condition as well. So these are the different complexities which arises the necessity for FEA, right? What do you mean by complexity in materials? Complexity of materials அப்படின்னா என்ன, right? Say for example, you might have studied the concept of finding out the stress for a simple rod in strength of materials. Am I right? Strength of materials படிச்சிருப்பீங்க இல்லையா, ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் எப்படி கால்குலேட் பண்ணுவீங்க அப்படின்ட்டு. ஒரு சிம்பிள் ராட், given the rod diameter and load, given the rod and diameter of the rod and load, so it is very easy to find out the stress induced in that particular rod. Am I right? Correct appa? Okay, what is the formula to find out the stress? Force by area. Here area is going to be constant one, load is also constant, from which easily you can able to find out the stress. Okay, if it is a single material, constraint it is what? If it is a single material, if it involves plenty of materials which has been braced together, what will happen? Will your concept holds good for that? Say for example, you're going to brace two different metals, aluminum or copper, right? Or MS materials, MS material, aluminum and copper, right? Are braced together, are welded together, right? You're going to apply load. Will that load by area formula holds good for this material? I mean, this particular aspect, will it holds good? Can you use the same formula for finding out the force by area? Yeah, why? Because we'll be having a different set of materials. The strength of different materials will be varying. Okay, and moreover, uh, if you want to find out the strength of our particular material, what you will do? What you will do in strength of materials lab? If you want to identify a strength of one particular specimen, what you are supposed to do? Yeah, you will find out this tensile loading in UTM, right? Am I right? In UTM, universal testing machine, what you will do? You will test, you will apply a load, and you will find out the stress involved while it getting fractured, right? So that is what the test you will do for finding out the strength of that particular specimen. I will tell you one instance. Can you able to find the strength of a connecting rod? Can you able to fix the connecting rod in UTM in order to find the strength of the connecting rod? Is it right material to find the strength of the material? I will give you a connecting rod to find the stress, right? What you will do? Instead of a specimen, I will give you a connecting rod to you, right? What you will do to find the strength of the connecting rod? Will you test it in UTM machine? சொல்லுங்கப்பா. ஒரு கனெக்டிங் ராட் உங்கள்கிட்ட கொடுத்துட்டேன்ப்பா. ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் ஐ மீன் ஸ்ட்ரென்த் ஆஃப் கனெக்டிங் ராட் கால்குலேட் பண்ணுறதுக்கு உங்களுக்கு கனெக்டிங் ராட் உங்கள்கிட்ட கொடுத்துட்டேன். வாட் யூ வில் டூ? நீங்கள் வந்து யூடிஎம் மிஷினில் வச்சு டெஸ்ட் பண்ணி இதான் ஸ்ட்ரென்த் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவீங்களா? இஸ் இட் அ ரைட் மெத்தட்? ஹலோ ஹலோ. No. Why? Because if you the material which is going to test in the specimen will be constant in area. Why? Because you'll be having only one value of stress. Stress is a formula, load by area, only one area, only one force. That's it, right? But if you apply a connecting rod into the UTM machine, you'll be having a plenty of cross section areas. The cross section area will vary, right, with respect to length, with respect to entire stretch of length, its cross section will be varying, right? There won't be any constant cross section. Cross section will be varying throughout its length. Okay, then will it be a single stress value will be getting? Will you able to get a single stress value in the kinetic rod? No. இல்லையா? ஏன்னா ஏரியா வந்து நிறைய இருக்கு இல்லையா? அப்ப ஏரியா நிறைய இருந்ததுன்னா உங்களுக்கு ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் வேல்யூ நிறைய இருக்கணும் இல்லையா? Okay, so you won't be getting a constant stress value. Instead of that, you will be getting multiple values of stress value. Otherwise, we will say here it is a distribution of stress instead of a single stress. We'll be having a distribution of stress value. So for such scenario, you can use this analysis software FEA. As I said, if it is a constant cross section area, you can use the conventional method to find out the stress value. But connecting rod is having a quite complex shape, right? If you want to find out the stress value, you should go for finite element analysis. Why? Here the shape is complex. Shape is not going to be a constant one. Shape is here, it is constant. In the first condition, as I said, if you impart plenty of materials in the same object, okay, then there will be complexity in materials. In certain scenario, what you'll be using in composite materials, you'll be stacking a fiber material in matrix alternatively, right? Fiber and matrix alternatively you will be laying together in order to derive a composite material. So composite material is not made up of a single material. So it constitutes of plenty of phases, right? So if there is any complexity in materials, then we should go for finite element analysis, right? So loading conditions in practically speaking, uh, we can't able to assume, say for if you take for instance if you take a IC engine, right? What is the load which is acting on the IC engine means, can you able to say whether it is a tensile force or tensile load or a compressive load? No. In practically speaking, so plenty of loading combinations will takes place. Either tensile load will be acting, compressive load will be acting, a bending moment will be acting, right? A torsional load will be acting, right? Put together all the load combinedly acts in real scenario, right? Put together all the loading condition, it is very difficult to find the solution for using conventional method, uh, right? If you want to find out the stress using this multiple loading condition, it is very difficult to consolidate with a single solution, right? In such scenario you can use FEA. Okay, as I said, if there is complexity arises in materials, you can use FEA. If there is any complexity arises in shape, you can use FES. If there is a complexity arises in loading conditions, then use FEA. Boundary conditions, if the boundary condition is quite different. What do you mean by boundary conditions? What do you mean by boundary conditions? Say for example, if you want to test the temperature at the boundary, that is what the boundary condition, right? Say for example in IC engine, right? Can you able to say what is the temperature inside? Can you able to measure what is the inside temperature in IC engine using thermometer? Can you able to measure what is it? If you are able to measure the temperature, where you will measure? Only at the outer case, isn't it? Outer measure பண்றீங்க. That is what the boundary condition, right? So right, if the boundary is not even, right? If it is if you are having a complex boundaries, so that you cannot able to measure, right? For such cases, you can use this FEA, right? So these are the different conditions where you can apply finite element analysis. And so I have listed a few problems, practical problems, which you could use FEA for solving those problems, right? இங்க problem அப்படின்றது என்ன அப்படின்னா, problem is nothing but a differential equation, right? Solving the solution for the differential equation is a solution for the problem. That's it. இங்க problem சொல்றது என்ன அப்படின்னா, formation of a differential equation. Solution அப்படின்றது ப்ராப்ளத்துக்கு சொல்யூஷன் அப்படின்றதுனா, solution for the differential equation is the solution for the problem as well. Okay. So I have listed down few problems which we could be able to address using finite element analysis, right? For example, if you take stress distribution of a pressure vessel. A pressure vessels mean what? What do you mean by pressure vessel? What is pressure vessels? What do you mean by pressure vessel? Do you have any idea? Any containers which contains the pressurized components is called pressure vessels. சரி, அந்த கண்டெய்னர் லாரிலாம் பார்த்துருப்பீங்க இல்லையா? Those are pressure vessels. Even the LPG cylinders which we are having, it's a pressure vessel. The boiler equipments, boilers and all, it's a pressure vessels. Any container which contains pressurized liquids or pressurized gases, or are called pressure vessels, right? The problem is to find the stress distribution of the pressure vessels, right? In case if a container is having 150 bar, right? If a container is having 150 bar, we are supposed to find what could be the wall thickness of the cylinder, right? Given the pressure of 150 bar, we are supposed to find what could be the wall thickness of the cylinder. That is what the problem. How we will decide the wall thickness of the cylinder? By means of finding out the stress distribution, right? Upper finding out the stress distribution of a pressure vessels can be a practical problem where you will optimize the value of the cylinder thickness, cylinder wall thickness. Okay. And next வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா concentration of pollutants in seawater. In seawater, um, you could arrive at where the concentration of pollutants is taking place, right? You could have a simulation like visually you can see at where the concentration occurs in the seawater. Okay, this is one such problem, and you could see mode shapes of the aeroplane wings. Right. Well, mode shape is nothing but it's one of the tasks where we need to find the modal analysis. Modal analysis is nothing but is actually natural finding out the natural vibration of the wings by adapting plenty of different shapes. By changing the shape of the aeroplane wings, we need to find, we need to ensure whether it will be safe if the aeroplane wing is twisting in these particular shapes, right? We will be having infinite number of mode shapes while it is traveling, right? The aeroplane wings, we could not able to see this practically, right? List, I mean, in what direction the aeroplane wings twists. These twists actually we could able to simulate through answers, right? What are the different mode in which the aeroplane wings may twist, right? And we could able to find the, what is the natural vibration, and in turn if you are able to find the natural vibration, we will be able to uh, avoid accidents due to heavy I mean cyclones and all, right? During the cyclones what will happen, the aeroplane wings will get twisted, right? During the twist what will happen, it is not supposed to match with the natural frequency. If natural frequency is matched with the applied frequency, what will happen, there will be enormous deflection so that the aeroplane wing will get crashed. Ultimately it will lead to an accident. Okay, so such kind of problems can be analyzed using answers. Next, the pressure distribution of a pump vanes. You can able to design optimum pump, right? Pump vanes, meaning pump impeller designs. Okay, you can design your own impeller. You can modify the design. Modify the pump impeller in order to reduce the cost, in order to improving strength, in order to improve the life. By considering the various parameters, you can design the pump impellers and all, right? So by doing a pressure distribution, you could able to design those profile of pump vanes or impeller. Okay, and nowadays prediction of weathers. Okay, prediction of weathers could be possible using all this thing, and prediction of all natural calamities such as tsunami and all. Okay, and moreover stress analysis of automatic components. This is the predominant area where answers has been, I mean, finite element analysis has been utilized, right? Stress analysis of automotive components. Next, failures of structures. Plenty of failures are happening nowadays. Okay, plenty of accidents are happening. Find out the root cause of failures. Finding out the root cause of the failures so that in the next design it can be eradicated. Okay, so such kind of failure analysis, those FEA softwares can be used. Okay, so this is actually very few problems I have listed out. You can have thousands and thousands of problems which remain unsolved. Okay, you can use FEA. So if you are going to do any kind of projects using FEA, definitely it will be a worthwhile. Actually, what you have to do while doing a project, so mere simulation of a problem is not sufficient. So you need to prove it. You need to justify it by means of experimental or any analytical method. You have to do it. Okay. Okay. So as I said, so these are the problems. These are the problems which is given. How will you solve all those problems, right? So I have listed few problems. Say for example, stress distribution of pressure vessels and more shapes of aeroplane wings, pressure distribution of pump vanes, like the prediction of weather, natural calamities, stress analysis of automotive components. So there are plenty of problems. Okay, so how will you solve those problems? Literally, without having any analysis, right? uh, with the layman, what you are supposed to do, I mean, what you people are doing as a project, right? Simply we will analyze what are the parameters which is affecting this stress, right? So that is what we will look out. So we don't bother about the mathematical formulations behind this concept, but that is not the right way. We have to approach through mathematical approach. Then only you will be able to derive a reliable solution for a problem. Okay, so far what we are doing is we are approaching the problem as a layman, right, without considering the mathematical concepts. That is what we are doing in the project, but that is not has to be taken place. Any problems that is available physically, it can be converted into a mathematical formations. Okay, so that is the first step. You must know how to convert the problem into a mathematical model or a governing equation. That is the first step in FEA. Otherwise, we could say it's a mathematical formulation of physical process. Any physical process can be formulated into a mathematical form, or otherwise we can say governing equation. Okay. So by means of solving this governing equation, we will get answer, right? Those answer is the solution for the problem. Okay. Say for example, if you derive the governing equation, basically deflection is the primary unknown, right? Based upon the deflection equation, you will get a governing equation, right? Once the deflection is known, say for example dy by dx plus x is equal to 0, take this differential equation. Here y is nothing but the deflection of any structure, deflection of any structure. If you solve this equation, differential equation, what you will get? You will get y in terms of x, right? You would have studied in differential equation, dependent variable, independent variable, right? Dy by dx, right? Dy by dx, y is nothing but dependent variable, x is nothing but independent variable, right? So if you solve this differential equation, what you will get? You will get the value y in terms of x in some form, in the form of quadratic equation, or somewhere, or a linear equation, or a cubic equation, whatever may be, right? You may get y is equal to 2x plus 3, or you will get y is equal to 4x cube plus 3x plus 2. In some form you will get. Okay, so y is nothing but deflection equation. In terms of x, x is nothing but the distance, take distance. But here what you are supposed to do is you are supposed to find what is the deflection at particular location. That is what the problem. If you find the deflection, ultimately you will be able to find the strain, right? What is the strain formula? What is the formula for strain? Change in length by original length. Okay, change in length by original length. We know already original length. If change in length has to be, if you find the deflection, deflection is nothing but change in length. If you are able to find the change in length at a particular location, you know the strain involved in that particular structure. Okay. Why? Because using this formula, y is equal to some 3x square plus x plus 3, whatever may be, you will get. So if you put the value for x, you will get the value for deflection. Once you know the deflection, you will be able to find the strain involved. One, you will be able to find the strain. Ultimately, you will be able to find the stress value. Why? Because stress by strain is equal to constant. Am I right? What is that constant? Stress by strain is equal to constant. What is that constant? Young's modulus. Am I right? Stress by strain is equal to Young's modulus. Once the Young's modulus is known, strain already known from the deflection equation. So ultimately we will be able to find the stress. Okay, this is what is simple analysis of stress distribution. The stress on the distribution, why we are calling it as a distribution? Why? Because stress will vary depending upon the locations, excess location. Why? Because Deflection varies with respect to location. Why? Because y is not constant here. Y is equal to variable. Y is equal to x cube plus 3x plus 3, whatever may be. It is variable depending upon the value of x. If you give some value of x, you will get different value of y. Y is nothing but deflection. So you will get different value of deflection with different value of location. Okay, once you will be having a different value of deflection, you will get different value of stress. So that is why it is actually a distribution of stress, not a single stress. It's not a constant, it will vary depending upon the location. Okay, so that's why we used to say it is a stress distribution. Okay, so this is simple method of finding out the solution for problem. How will you find the solution for the differential equation? How will you find the solution for the differential equation? Do you have any idea? Formula is, say for example, if you take d square x by d square y by dx square plus 4x plus 2 is equal to 0. So this is actually a differential equation. How will you solve this differential equation? Any idea? What is the exact method you will use to find the solution for this differential equation? ஐடியா ஏதாவது இருக்காப்பா? டிஃபரன்ஷியல் ஈக்குவேஷன் எப்படி சால்வ் பண்ணுவீங்க? ஓகேப்பா, அதை எப்படி சால்வ் பண்ணுவேன்? டிஃபரன்ஷியல் ஈக்குவேஷன் டி ஸ்கொயர் ஒய் பை டிஎக்ஸ் ஸ்கொயர் பிளஸ் 3x பிளஸ் 3 இஸ் ஈக்குவல் டு 0ன்னு வச்சுக்கோ. இந்த டிஃபரன்ஷியல் ஈக்குவேஷனுக்கு நம்ம சொல்யூஷன் ஃபைண்ட் அவுட் பண்ணணும். எப்படி ஃபைண்ட் அவுட் பண்ணுவேன்? ஒய்யோட வேல்யூ நம்ம கால்குலேட் பண்ணணும். எப்படி கால்குலேட் பண்ணுவேன்? You need to integrate it, isn't it? என்ன பண்ணணும்? You need to integrate the differential equation. If the degree is 2, you need to integrate twice. ரெண்டு டைம் நீ integrate பண்ணா என்ன கிடைக்கும்? சொல்யூஷன் y கிடைச்சிரும் இல்லையா? அப்ப d square by d square ஒரு டைம் integrate பண்ணீங்கன்னா dy by dx கிடைக்கும். மறுபடியும் if you integrate again dy by dx, you will get y. Am I right? This is actually exact method of finding out the differential equation. Right? If the complex condition, right? If it is a complex condition, if it is a complex differential equation, it is very difficult to find the solution, right? So you need one separate notebook to find solution. That kind of problems are there, right? But it is impossible to do. Literally, it is not possible to find such kind of problems, right? Those problems can be solved pretty much easily using FEA. Okay, இப்போ பேசிக்காக பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இந்த மாதிரி ப்ராப்ளத்தை எப்படி சால்வ் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னா ஃபர்ஸ்ட் நம்ம என்ன பண்ணுவோம்? டிஃபரன்ஷியல் ஈக்குவேஷன் அல்லது கவர்னிங் ஈக்குவேஷன் ஃபார்ம் பண்ணுவோம். அதுதான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஸ்டெப். நெக்ஸ்ட் என்ன பண்ணுவோம் அப்படின்னா எய்தர் பை அனலிட்டிக்கல் மெத்தட் ஆர் நியூமரிக்கல் மெத்தட் we will be able to find solution for the problem. This is the two way in which you can solve the problem. One வந்து mathematical formulation of the problem or forming of governing equation. Next step, finding out the solution for the differential equation. எப்படி solution find out பண்றது? Forget about the finite element analysis. Previously, there are different methods are there to find a solution for the differential equation. One is to adapt exact method. Exact method means integration. By adapting integration, we could be able to find the solution for the differential equation. What is the other method? You can adapt numerical method. Numerical method படிச்சிருக்கீங்க இல்லையா differential equationல? Newton-Raphson method படிச்சிருக்கீங்களா? Finite difference method, Newton-Raphson method. So these are the methods you can adapt this numerical concept. Instead of adapting exact method, you can adapt numerical analysis or numerical concept if it is a complex problem. If it is a complex problem, adapting exact method is quite difficult. In such cases, you can adapt numerical method to solve those differential equation. Okay. Further, the quality of exact method can be checked using variational method. Okay. So this is the two way in which you can solve the problem. Given this governing equation, we can solve this problem into two different cases. One is exact method, another one is called approximate method. One is called exact method, another is called approximate method. Exact method is nothing but it is actually an integration method for solving differential equation. Next one is called approximation method. What is approximation method? There are two different methods here, finite different methods and variational method. Right, in the approximate method, what we are going to use in the first unit, it's a variational method. Right, first unitல என்ன பண்ண போறோம் அப்படின்னா இந்த டிஃபரன்ஷியல் ஈக்குவேஷனுக்கு சொல்யூஷன் ஃபைண்ட் அவுட் பண்ண போறோம். அவ்வளவுதான். அதை வந்து எக்ஸாக்ட் மெத்தட் கூட நீங்க கம்பேர் பண்ணணும். தட் இஸ் வாட் தி ப்ராப்ளம் இன் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் யூனிட்ஸ். ஓகே, here what we are going to do is we are going to adapt a variational method to find the solution for the governing equation. There are two different methods what we are going to see. It's Rayleigh-Ritz method and Galerkin method. Galerkin method, otherwise we can say it is actually weighted residual method. Okay, in approximate method there are two different methods. One is called finite difference method and variational method. In variational method, what we are going to see is Rayleigh-Ritz method and Galerkin method. Right. How a mathematical model or differential equation can be formed. Right, what is the requirement? Simply we can how can we able to form it simply? If you want to convert the problem statement into a mathematical equation, will it be easy? இப்போ நான் சொல்லியிருக்கேன் இல்லையா, ப்ராப்ளம் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட். சே ஒரு சிம்பிள் எக்ஸாம்பிள் சொல்லுவேன், ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் டிஸ்ட்ரிபியூஷன் இன் பாய்லர் ஷெல். It's a simple problem statement. Can you able to convert in the form of mathematical equation? Right. It will be quite difficult. Right. What we have to do? We have to adapt two things. One, we should know. We should know basic physics behind the problem. What are the fundamental physics behind the problem? We should know the laws behind the problem. Say for example, if you are going to adapt the heat transfer, right? The problem is to find the temperature distribution of a fin or temperature distribution of an engine part. What you are supposed to do? You are supposed to formulate a mathematical equation based upon the Fourier's heat transfer law. Right. So Fourier's law as well as Newton's law of cooling. Right. So here you have to adapt the law of physics. So first of all, in order to formulate the physical process or in order to formulate the governing equation, we should be sound in fundamental physical laws. Right. So அப்ப என்ன பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னா, we should know the background of physical laws. Right, or physics behind the background or physics behind the problem. Next, we should adapt any mathematical tools. As I said, MATLAB. You can adapt the MATLAB for formulation of governing equations. Right. Okay, you can adapt either physical laws or any mathematical tools we can adapt for formulation of governing equation. Okay. What could be the results? As I said, actually this in turn results the mathematical statements, otherwise a differential equation. இப்போ நீங்கள் இந்த ஃபண்டமெண்டல் law behind the mathematical tools-லாம் இந்த knowledge வச்சுலாம் என்ன பண்ணுவீங்க அப்படின்னா, you will be able to frame a differential equation. அந்த differential equationன்றது என்ன அப்படின்னா, you will have two unknowns. You will have an unknown with respect to known one. Say for example, dy by dx. Here y is nothing but dependent variable and x is nothing but independent variable, as I said. Right, dependent variable, independent variable, that you are supposed to find what is y, what is x. Y may be a different one, y may be a deflection, y may be a pressure, y may be a temperature. So these are actually area of interest or quantity of interest. The differential equation dy by dx, y may be, it may be a deflection, y may be a temperature, y may be a pressure. Okay, what may be depending upon the physics. What is the area of interest? If a area of interest is to find out the temperature distribution, then Y is temperature here. If your area of interest to find the stress analysis, then Y is deflection here. If your area is to find the pressure distribution, then Y is pressure here. Okay, so this is how the problem statement goes. And application is concerned, you'll be having a plenty of applications. You cannot confine the application of FEA to one particular domain, right? So applications, maybe it can be applied for aeronautical. So this is actually a jet engine which has been modeled and meshed using hypermesh, right? This is actually a jet engine. Actually, if you want to do it, it will take around a month, right, to mesh it. Okay, and this is actually machines, the complete machine, right? So which is being meshed and can be analyzed. This is actually a mold manufacturing. A process can also be simulated. The process can also be cannot be optimized using FEA. So this is crankcase, and I mean this is actually cylinder blocks and the crankshaft, right? So automotive components which can be able to find out the optimized shape. You can able to modify the shape depending upon your requirement using answers. And this is one particular electrical applications, right? CFD, computational fluid dynamics. You can design the aeroplane wings according to your loads and all payloads, and you can also modify the aerofoil structure of your car, race cars, right? You can design the impellers based upon the fluid characteristics. Okay, so these are the different applications used in flow computational fluid dynamics. And you can apply finite element analysis in biomedical as well. So this is actually root canal, I mean this is actually teeth, right? Teeth treatment, root canal operations, isn't it? So for that you can simulate it and finding out what could be the depth required for replacing that damaged teeth. Okay, the root canal operation, right? We can also simulate this using answers. Okay, I think with this the introduction part of FE is over. So right from tomorrow, right from the next session, we'll be dealing with the exact syllabus contents, right? Right from historical background, how the evolution of finite element takes place. Okay, so these are the different applications where we can apply finite element analysis. So with this, we shall conclude the session. If you have any doubts, you can raise. Do you have any doubts or do you have any clarifications? You can ask now. No doubts. Okay, so we shall conclude the session with this. Thank you.